Hey everyone, we are here with our Unit 3 pre-topic B. I do say pre-topic B because we're not ready for topic B yet. Makes sense now. All right, let's jump in. Okay, so solving our equations. And like anything that we learn for the first time, we start off pretty basic to understand the fundamentals. Your alphabet, all right? Looking back on it there, pretty basic. But at that age, not as basic, and again, very key. Same thing with our solving of our equations here. So, as much as you might be like, come on, we know the answer, let's move on. We need them for when the negatives appear and the multi-steps appear and we don't get whole numbers. Anyway, let's jump into it. The big thing about solving equations is you are undoing. You're trying to get back to the beginning. So by undoing things, we want to do the opposites. Check out the very first problem here. We're trying to figure out what number, B they're calling it here, when you add 9 onto it, ends up at a negative 15. So again, we could sit here and think about that. Okay, but we've got a structure that's here. We always start on the side with the variable. So in this case, the left-hand side. Now, where's my left and my right-hand sides? Well, it's the equal sign. The equal sign is who chops it up into two different sides. Left side, right side. So I start on the side with the letter, the left side, the variable, and to undo adding 9, we're going to subtract 9. You can also look at it as the opposite of a positive 9 is a negative 9. Remember, addition positive, the same as subtraction and negative. We'd always do the same thing to both sides because that keeps things balanced. An equation's like a scale. So if we take 9 away from one side, we also have to take 9 away from the other side to keep things balanced. So this is where your properties come into play. That's an additive inverse. Well, it's always going to give us 0. And what happens when you add 0 onto something? Nothing. So we don't even bother doing anything over here. We just drop the B down, and there we are. Some people visually like to swipe through the opposites. Again, it's what's visually appealing to you. On the right-hand side, combine, hey, there's a negative 24. So in other words, if we did substitution to check, all right, and we plugged in negative 24, we should get a true statement. Is negative 24 plus 9, does that equal negative 15? And again, I'm grabbing it from right there at the beginning, and sure enough, it does. All right, so again, start on the side with the variable, and it's not necessary to draw it in there. Again, visually at the beginning, we want you to see it. So this time we're on the right-hand side. So the opposite of subtracting an 8, or in other words, the opposite of a negative 8, is a positive 8. In other words, adding 8. So we'll add 8 to both sides. Opposites, gone. All right, they're your additive inverses. So all we have left over here is the letter C. And on the other side, negative 12 plus 8, negative 4. So again, are we trying to come up with what number when minus 8 would give me negative? Yeah, we are. But we want to set techniques so we don't have to sit there and do this sort of guess and check. Substitution, okay, we go right back to the original problem. Negative 12 equals C. Well, we're saying that C equals negative 4. So we'll put the negative 4 in, minus 8. And again, we're grabbing from there. And sure enough, if we do negative 4 minus 8, we get a negative 12. All right. So again, the idea is do the opposites. So that's addition and subtraction. So let's welcome to the party multiplication and division here. Now, remember, it's all about the opposite operation. So here, when I see a number up against the letter, that means to multiply. So to undo multiplication, we're going to need to do some division. Yes, people, ring the register. Now, look what we're dividing by, though. Yeah, a negative 3. Now I'm yelling, whoa. We go back. You said opposite sign. And I did because we're adding and subtracting. We're not anymore, okay? And here's the whole thing. My goal is just to get a plain old letter Z there. Well, what is negative 3 divided by negative 3? It's a positive 1. If I just use the 3, I'd get a negative 1, which would be a negative Z. No, not what we're after here. So we'll go to the other side. Negative 9 divided by negative 3. It is a 3. Again, I get it. Addition, subtraction rules, completely different than our multiplication, division rules. But that's something that we do need to deal with. Substitution, all right, let's see. If you plug in a 3, that's there. And again, we're just grabbing it right over there. If I do negative 3 times 3, do I get a negative 9? And sure enough, yes, we do. All right, so we do want to notice we are working under every single time. Addition and subtraction went under. Showing our division with our fraction bar went under. Here's the one difference. So in this particular problem, again, we're going to start on the side with our variable. So we're on that left-hand side. Right now we're dividing it by 4. So to undo dividing by a 4, we need to multiply by a 4. Now, what we end up doing here is we wrap it in parentheses and we put it to the sides. We don't go underneath it. When we think about it, when we write out a multiplication problem now, we don't stack anymore. We write them out from left to right because we use the dot or we use the parentheses. Well, parentheses is what we're going to see here. So let's give you the behind the scenes action. Wait, actually, hold on. Let's not. Just not yet. There's our answer. Okay, so 2 things here. Negative 2 times 4, hey, there's your negative 8. Now, this is one of the benefits. We don't do this too often here, so this is why I was a little hesitant to say it there. This is like one of the few times ever that we'll say in math, hey, don't show your work, all right? Let's look at what's really going on behind the scenes here. Really, that's a 4 over a 1. Really, we're doing cross division with our 4s, so we get 1s. So when you multiply 1 times y, you get y. You multiply 1 times 1, you get 1. What is y divided by 1? It's just y. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So here's the thing. All that is going on, and it will happen every single time. So we don't do it. I mean, if you want to kind of cross it out, you can, but it's not just something we deal with. So if we check it, hey, negative 8 divided by 4, does that give me negative 2? It does. So again, you just got to watch the organization from a standpoint of addition, subtraction, underneath it. They give you the multiplication problem like we just saw above there, underneath it. It's only in this guy where you have to do multiplication that we put it on the sides that we're looking at. All right, people, there you go. We'll say goodbye on that one.